What's up guys, TopTierYugioh here, and today I want to show you guys a Trickstar combo involving Firewall Dragon and Trickstar Lilybell. And personally, when I play against Trickstars, this is the scariest combo hands down. This is what I'm most afraid of when playing against Trickstars, because there isn't a single hand trap that interacts with this outside of like cherries for Firewall, but you'd be crazy to do that, right? And then it just automatically just kills you. So if this combo goes through, it's 100% always game. And so because of that, I think it's better than Droll Reincarnation. I think it's better than like Candina, Lyco, Chain Summoning, which ends up with all the burn damage in the standby phase of the next turn. I think it's better than all those other combos because it 100% guarantees that you will kill your opponent immediately. And it also allows for a lot of flexibility as well. And so first I want to show you guys the actual combo, the loop itself, because you are going to be using Firewall's effect to loop Lilybell and Lycoris, because Lilybell is not once per turn, neither is Lycoris. You can activate multiple ones per turn. And so you loop those effects together, and so I'm going to show you how to do that. And then afterwards, I'm going to show you how to set it up in multiple different ways. And you can set it up a few different ways. So the most popular way is Scapegoat. You can also use GoFoo, or you can even use cards like Grindr Golem. And so depending on which extender you have to set the combo up a little bit differently. And so I'm going to go into that after showing you how to do the loop. So let's go ahead and get started. And so alright, so let's go ahead and get into the combo. And so all you're going to need for this combo is one Firewall Dragon, one Trickstar Lilybell on the field, and then one Trickstar Lycoris either in hand or in the graveyard. Then your opponent's going to need one monster with more attack than Lycoris, and so 1700 or more attack. I think the most probable situation is that you're playing against Spirals and then they end up with like a Super Agent, a Tough, or a Helix on board. That's probably the most common, but I like we can do this with any monster. It can be a Ghost Beef for all we care. I mean, Ghost Beef has more attack than Lycoris, so that works. But we can do it with a Spiral monster, because that's, again, more probable. So we can just go ahead and toss that on the opponent's side of the field over there. And so usually you're going to be summoning your Firewall Dragon in the extra monster zone. And so it's just important that you have one linked zone under the Firewall Dragon to summon Lycoris in, and you don't want to lock that zone with Lilybell. And so that's probably one of the biggest mistakes I see a lot of Trickstar players doing when they screw this up, is they'll summon Lilybell under the Firewall, and then it screws up the placement of the monsters. And so you can summon Lilybell anywhere but under the Firewall Dragon, because again, that's where you summon Lycoris. And so what you're going to do for the actual loop is you're going to attack with Lilybell to do 800 damage, and then if you have the Lycoris in your graveyard, you add the Lycoris from your graveyard to your hand. Now you activate Lycoris' effect to add Lilybell back to hand, summon Lycoris under the Firewall. Now you crash Lycoris into the opponent's monster, so Lycoris goes to the graveyard, and then because you have a monster that was linked to Firewall that was sent to the graveyard, you can activate Firewall's effect to special summon the Lilybell. And again, you do not summon it under the Firewall. You can summon it anywhere on your field, just not there. And so you summon it, attack direct again for another 800, add back the Lycoris, summon Lycoris under the Firewall, crash Lycoris into the monster, summon Lilybell, attack, add back, summon, crash, summon, attack direct, add back, and you keep doing that over and over and over again. And so eventually with each loop, you're doing 800 points of damage, and then you're taking whatever their attack is minus Lycoris' attack, which is 1600. And so in this case, you deal 800 and you take 300. And so eventually you're going to beat your opponent before you run out of life points. And that's sort of one of the considerations when doing this combo, is that you take life point damage yourself. And so you really have to consider the life point situation and some of the other cards you have. And so you don't want to summon a monster, or I'm sorry, you don't want to do this against the monster that has 2400 or more attack, because then you'll also be taking 800 life points. And so you don't want to run out of life points before your opponent. If you have Light Stage on board, then you're doing 200 more points of damage, and so you can attack against even larger monsters. And so it gives you a little bit more leeway. And also something you can do is, instead of having to crash Lycoris for the final attack, you can attack into it with Firewall to also save yourself a little bit of damage. And so that's something else you can do to, again, save yourself when doing this combo. But in most cases, it's going to be game. Like usually they have a monster on board left in attack, and you're able to summon a Firewall, you have a Lilybell, Lycoris in graveyard, you're going to kill them that turn. And again, I just think it's so scary, because just looking back at that combo, like there's nothing to Ash, you can't Ogre anything, the only effect that really activates on the field are Lilybell and Firewall, both of which are in the damage step, and so you can't really do anything against that. There's no searching, it's just insanely hard to deal with, and if you don't have something already on board to deal with it, then it's just going to be game. And if you're playing against Trickstars, because of all the defensive cards like Reincarnation, Hand Traps, it's going to be hard for you to stick some defense on board. And so when this happens, you're just sort of left defenseless, and you know, that's it. You can't really do anything, and so it's super scary to play against. And if you're playing Trickstars, it is one of the trolliest, most fun combos to do. So now that we know how to actually do the combo, let's get into some of the setup. Alright, so these are the most popular extenders in Trickstars, and each of these can be used to set up this combo, but the setup is slightly different depending on which one you use. So let's go ahead into some of those differences. And so if we start with Scapegoat, it's probably the easiest, and you do want to actually be able to start your engine. And so what happens usually is you're going to be going first, and you'll open with Scapegoat plus either Light Stage or Candina. Either one works, and you can even search the other one, so again, it just doesn't matter at all. And so what you're going to end up doing is the Scapegoat won't matter on your first turn, but you're going to activate your Light Stage. Let's see, we can put that up here somewhere. Then use Light Stage to search Candina. Candina will search your Lycoris. Then you're going to summon Lycoris by returning the Candina. Then you have Lycoris on the field. You set your Scapegoat. Then of course you're going to have other defensive cards like hand traps. So then what happens is your opponent cannot kill you. And so they'll probably, I mean, it doesn't matter if they get over Lycoris or not, but even if they do get over Lycoris, let's assume it goes to the graveyard. You Scapegoat in their end phase. Then on your turn, you do have options to do other plays with your Scapegoat tokens. Like you could do the not the Ib reincarnation, but the Ib Ningirisu play. And if you do that, you can draw a card. But when you do that, you do risk losing something to a Ghost Ogre or whatever they might have. So it's probably the safest just to use all 4 tokens just to go straight into a Firewall. And then what you can do is normal summon your Candina. Candina effect will search Lilybell. Lilybell will special summon itself from the hand. And now if your opponent got over the Lycoris, it's already in the graveyard for the combo. If the Lycoris is still on the board, that's also fine. You just change it to attack and crash into their monster. And then again, start the combo like that. And so it doesn't matter what happens to Lycoris. It's just important that on your first turn, you get Lycoris out of the deck. On your second turn, you get Lilybell out of the deck. And then with the Scapegoat, you summon the Firewall. And so that's really how you would set that up with a Scapegoat. Alright, so when doing the combo with a GoFoo, it's very similar in that you have the same first turn, and so you're going to start by normal summoning your Candina, using the effect to search a Lycoris, activating Lycoris' effect to add Candina back to hand and special summon itself. And now ideally your opponent can deal with the Lycoris, because unlike Scapegoat, you have to have a clear board to use GoFoo. And so, you know, hopefully in 2017 they're playing a deck that can deal with a single weak monster in defense. But if not, you're probably going to beat them anyways. But if they do deal with it, perfect, then this combo is going to be lit. And so let's say they just attack over Lycoris for whatever reason. And then on your second turn, you're going to special summon GoFoo, activate the effect getting 2 tokens. The placement of the tokens isn't really important. Then you're going to normal summon Candina, activate the effect to search Lilybell. And then Lilybell's effect will activate to special summon herself from the hand. And so now what you're going to do is link all 4 of these monsters into your Firewall Dragon. You have the Lycoris in the graveyard, and so you're ready to go. For this one, the hardest thing is just being sure that you can summon GoFoo. But even if you can't summon GoFoo on your second turn, you have to make it so that whenever your opponent can clear your board, you can summon GoFoo and kill them, but at the same time, you don't want them to clear your board and to be able to kill you. And so you really have to manage the game very well, and that's sort of one of the skills in playing Trickstars. I know a lot of times it's easy just to look at Trickstars as like some skillless deck, like you just sack your opponent with Reincarnation Droll or Scapegoat combo or whatever you want to call this loop, but it's really more to it than that, and you really have to manage the game in a way to set yourself up in order to use those combos. So something else I do want to mention is that GoFoo plus Eater of Millions is any Link 4, and so you can also summon these 3, and then normal summon Candina that you might have already had in your hand or you might have drawn it, and then that's going to also allow you to do the same combo. Or you could do GoFoo, and then Reincarnation, bring something back from the graveyard. That's going to be a 4th link material for the Firewall. And so there are many ways that you can use GoFoo to do this. Just know that GoFoo is 3 link materials, and then any other monster, whether it be Candina, Eater of Millions, or whatever, is going to be that 4th link material to get you to a Firewall Dragon. And then as long as you have the Lilybell, then you're going to be good. Alright, so the third and final way to do this is with Grindr Golem. And so Grindr Golem is very similar to GoFoo in that it's not something you can do on turn 0. It's something that you have to set up for a little while longer, and even longer than the GoFoo play, because this restricts your normal summon. Like, you can't normal summon in the same turn that you use the effect, and that's actually a very, very big restriction for this. And so usually I'd say it's like a turn 3 thing. And so Scapegoat you do on turn 2, like your second turn. This is something you do on maybe your 3rd turn after 2 turns of setup, which makes it even more difficult to use, but at the same time you can do more with it, I think. And well, you can do a lot with GoFoo actually, but Grindr Golem is also very good, especially mid to late game, and if you draw multiples, it's actually quite ridiculous. But so for this combo, what you're going to need to do is start off very similarly. So you have to summon Candina and search Lycoris, and then of course summon your Lycoris. And as always, the purpose of this is just to get Lycoris into the graveyard. And so like that's going to be your turn 1. Sometimes it's good enough to beat your opponent, sometimes not. Then next, on your second turn, you need to summon Candina, then activate that to search Lilybell, and then Lilybell can summon itself, or you don't even need to summon itself, you just need it in hand or in graveyard. And so if you have a Reincarnation, it's okay to summon because Reincarnation can always bring it back, but if not, you might want to keep it in your hand. And so regardless of what happens here, this is going to be your second turn. And so it's a little less specific here. There's not as much you could do with, you know, just this 2-card hand. But then on your third turn, this is when it gets actually interesting. And so what you're going to do is summon Grindr Golem to your opponent's side of the field. And again, you have Lilybell in hand. Or it can also be in graveyard if you have this in Reincarnation in graveyard. So you have to set that up differently. But you have access to Lilybell somehow, Grindr Golem in hand. And so what you do is you summon Grindr Golem to your opponent's side of the field. That is going to give you, let's see where it is, 2 tokens. And then with those tokens, you're going to make 2 Link Spiders. And so use both of those tokens, and you're going to make Link Spider, Link Spider. Next, you're going to summon an Akashic Magician. Oh, and these can also be Link Karibos. It doesn't matter. So Akashic Magician. Now Akashic is going to bounce back Grindr Golem to your hand. And so it's important to summon Grindr Golem in front of one of the extra monster zones so you can do this. So this returns Grindr back to the hand. Now you're going to summon Grindr again in defense. And now you're going to give yourself 2 more tokens. So now what you can do with both of these tokens is make a Firewall Dragon. And so use Akashic and both tokens to make a Firewall. And again, you make the Firewall in front of the Grindr Golem. So now what you do is you go into your battle phase, attack Firewall Dragon over Grindr Golem, and then because Grindr Golem is sent to the graveyard and Grindr Golem was linked to the Firewall, you can activate Firewall's effect to special summon Lilybell from hand. And now what you can do is start the loop up. So your opponent has a monster. Let's see, there we go. Ghost Beef, they've got a monster. You attack directly, you add back the Lycoris from grave to hand, bounce the Lilybell, summon Lycoris under Firewall, crash into it, summon the Lilybell, attack again, add back the Lycoris, and then so on and so forth. And so you do the combo like that. And so the really cool thing about this is that you're able to summon the Grindr Golem to your opponent's side of the field, and then attack over it to trigger Firewall to summon Lilybell from hand, and then initiate the combo. Again, the only downside to this is that it takes a couple of turns to set up, and it's not something that you can easily do turn 1. And the only way you can really do it turn 2 is if you like hard draw Lilybell or something, because on this second turn you're using your normal summon on Candina to search Lilybell. But if you hard drew it, then perfect. Or if you already had it in the graveyard somehow, again, you can also bring it back with Reincarnation instead of having to attack with the Firewall. So you can do that a little bit differently and sort of set your plays up differently as well. But alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this combo. If you did, please like this video. If you want to see more Trickstar content, if you want to see more Trickstar deck profiles, duels, or combos, let me know in the comment section below. I'd really appreciate it, and I'm definitely down to make some more Trickstar videos. But if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them down in the comment section below once again. And as always guys, I will see you in the next video.
You